Hey guys, welcome to the video series on the platform Code Sapiens on the technology TypeScript. Right, so it's a new programming language where you write most of your JavaScript code, or you can say TypeScript is the superset of JavaScript. Right, so before we actually get started with the course content and what exactly we are going to learn, let me introduce myself. I am Vasudev Paloju, working as Senior Software Engineer in India's largest healthcare platform. I love to solve real world problems and believe software is the fastest way to achieve it. I'm an experienced trainer, consultant, and interview panelist. I love to share my knowledge and it's my passion, right? I worked in very early stage startups, which gave me a clear idea on how to look at things, how to learn things faster, and a different viewpoint in learning things a bit faster, right? So that's all about me. Now, before actually starting with any of the course content, let me walk you through the different journey, like what journey we are going to cover and what are the major concepts which we are going to discuss as a quick summary, right? So yeah, first we'll start by introducing ourselves to the world of TypeScript. We'll understand what is TypeScript, why is it needed, and how is it linked with JavaScript, or how you can execute a TypeScript code. And first we need to understand when somebody gives you any new language or new library or new framework to learn, first of all we need to understand what was the purpose, why engineers developed these languages first. So we'll look in that aspect. Why is TypeScript actually needed for us? What are the problems it is solving in the existing JavaScript ecosystem? And what advantages, not just problems, it should also give some advantages. What are the different advantages which TypeScript can give us? So we'll focus mainly on the different features and advantages and problems via what TypeScript is solving. Also, we'll discuss about the basic object-oriented programming, because though JavaScript doesn't enforce you to, or it is not an object-oriented programming language, but coupling with TypeScript, you rely on many of the object-oriented programming concepts like interfaces, types, generics, and all of these stuff, extending the parent classes, inheriting, all of these stuff. So I'll quickly cover the important concept of object-oriented. It will be a very, very good help to you in the entire course, and also when you're working on an application where you can use TypeScript. And TypeScript can be used both on the front end and back end. So wherever JavaScript, TypeScript can be actually used. After understanding the advantages, features of TypeScript, we'll actually get started with the building blocks of TypeScript. So what are the different types TypeScript supports? Like what are the string, number, boolean, arrays, tuple, or object, or set, or anything, right? How at the compilation time we get different errors based on the types we define, and what happens if you're not using TypeScript and in JavaScript, how it is a problem and how TypeScript is solving this, right? So we'll understand that. Then we'll understand any of the programming language concept, like the control flow statements, like how you can control the flow of your program execution, like if else, when if condition is satisfied, what is the code. So how you can write if control flow statements, like if else, if, switch statements, different loops, what are the different loops available, and how you can use the ES6 feature, the ECMAScript 6 features of JavaScript inside the TypeScript. So we'll discuss on that part. Then we'll move on to understanding the functions. So JavaScript is a functional oriented programming language, right? So TypeScript has leveraged the concepts of functional programming language very well. It has given us many functionalities like functional overriding, optional parameters, default parameters, and how you can what are the different return types you can do, and how you can control the return types of the functions, right? So we'll understand how to write functions and how you can use the power of functions, right? Then we'll understand classes, which is a concept of object oriented programming language. You define class, how to define class, how to extend class, how you can define different properties like private, public, and protected, and how you can actually follow the concepts of object oriented, which can be a very great advantage when your application grows, because the main problem with JavaScript was as the size of application grows, there is no rule enforced on the programming language, which becomes quite messy as the application grows. So defining classes and how you can use in a proper way, not just using the classes. What is the right way to use the classes? We'll focus on that part more, right? And then we'll understand interfaces, because yes, the obeying all the software principle like solid and all of this, we need to stick to these ground rules. It's okay if people say we don't need interfaces, but what is the advantage when you use interfaces? Because if I don't show you what is the advantage, and if I just say interfaces are this, that, nobody is interested to write. I myself will not be interested to write interfaces, because it is not any mandatory thing which you have to do for developing any application, right? So again, the focus is on that part. Then there are a few advanced types in JavaScript, or generic types. What are those advanced types? We'll discuss about that. This will be of very, very great help to you when your complexity of application grows, because you cannot actually restrict to one single type, because now the data is growing in a different type. So different types can be introduced into the system, and how your language is ready to scale for all of those futuristic scopes, right? So we have advanced types, which we'll discuss, and then we have generics. This is one of my favorite concepts in TypeScript. What are the generics and how you can use them, and how you can use them in a different place where you can reuse the entire application logic. So generics, the better understanding of generics you have, you can write more reusable code, and the better reusability, it means the better code it is, and also it will be easier to debug and less number of code. When you use generic, as the name itself says, it's a generic type, right? So when you use generic, the amount of code which you are writing reduces, which means when the bug comes, the amount of code which you have to go through to debug is also reduced drastically. So this all plays very crucial role. So we'll start our journey by introducing to the TypeScript, then understanding it, then how you can write. In between, I'll also add some of the basic examples which will enhance your understanding, and also gives you a clear idea on what we are moving on to the next one. So without wasting much time, let's deep dive into the TypeScript and get ready ourselves to write code in TypeScript, right?